Hey, so I've tested out the entire patch, and I'll be showcasing the War Strider weak spots, what's best to use on them. We'll go over the Leviathan changes in-game, and I'll showcase the changes to the Throwables and stratagems. And not only that, the CEO made a statement on the official Helldivers Discord about hard locking. There's so much more to discuss, by the way. If you've enjoyed my content before, consider giving this video a thumbs up and tapping the hype button below. With that said, let's jump right in. Let's start with the Dynamite because I'm pretty stoked about this one. You can now throw a Dynamite within the Bile Titan's hole. That sounds odd. Throw it in the bug hole and it'll explode and blow up and close. You can also use it on the Hulks. If you aim it right directly behind, you can actually blow up the battery pack and they're done. And if you want to use it on the Fleshmobs, you can absolutely do so. It will take at least 2 to 3. It just depends on if they're close enough to it. However, the Chargers, on the other hand, or the Behemoths, you only need to throw 2. As you can tell right here, I threw 1, threw another one, and it was done for. Now, lastly, for the Dynamite, you can now use it to blow up fabricators, which is awesome because previously you couldn't do that. And you can tell I just blew up the first fabricator, went away, threw another one, and destroyed the second one. This right here is by far my favorite change. Moving along, we're now going to take a look at the De-Escalator. This right here received a recent buff, and you can tell at the top here, I'll show you the numbers. We're now going to target the backside here, or the abdomen of the Charger, and it's only going to take about 4 of those grenade launcher hits, and that's pretty much it. It'll drop right there and then. Of course, you want to give it some time until it actually drops, and you should see it right about now. So, what happens if you use it on the Hulk? Well, it's actually really good. The only thing is, you do not want to do this right here where you're just spamming it and you're not really looking exactly where you're, firing. What you'll want to do is this right here. You'll want to aim, I prefer first person mode, aim right at the eye, and it's done. It's one hit. It's that amazing. And it's kind of like using the spear now. The other change I want to go over is the Autocannon. You can use it as well to take down the Hulks pretty fast. And I would say the damage does make a difference here as well. If we're talking about the Autocannon, we can also use it on the backside. About 4 shots will destroy the abdomen and it'll go down. Remember, you just have to wait for it to go down because once you blow up the backside, it'll drop shortly right after. However, if you're gonna use some of the weapons that have been buffed, like the AMR, you'll want to aim directly at the leg and fire about the whole entire magazine basically to blow up the carapace or the shield. And then after that, it takes about 1 to 2 hits on the weak spot. But if you decide that, aiming at the legs is just way too difficult, you just can't hit it properly, then what you can do is aim for the front portion, aim directly at the head. You'll have to use about 1 magazine and a half of a magazine, so almost 2 mags to take one down. But again, you just want to aim directly at the cranium here. And this is all due to the durable damage, which I'll get into here soon. I'll explain what durable damage is. I know a lot of you asked about it in the previous video, and I'll go over it shortly. Anywho, speaking of the AMR, if you aim directly at the eye, straight in the center here, it takes 1 hit, and man, that Hulk is going down. There's no questions about it. This is by far another great change in the patch. Continuing on, we're going to take a look at the Epoch because, of course, the Epoch has recently received a buff, and we're going to use it on the Hulk here as well as the Charger. So I'm going to throw a stun just to kind of stop it from firing at me. Nevertheless, what we're going to do is fire straight at the middle, and it'll take it down with 1 shot. Now, if you make the same mistake as I've done, there at the beginning, yeah, just don't do that. Pull the trigger once you've reached full maximum and you'll take it out. Now, the same situation applies with the Chargers. You'll want to fully charge it up, but you do not want to do it too long because, as you all know, unless you're new, if you hold it down too long, you're going to blow up and it's not going to be a fun time because the weapon is going to be gone. However, what we're going to do here is not do that. We're going to charge it up all the way up and then hit it 2 times. So hit it and quit it, and that's it. Okay, what we have next are the War Striders. You can use the railgun to take it out with 1 hit if you're using unsafe mode. Aim directly for the eye because there's 2 weak spots, the eyeball and the back spot. For the AMR, it's going to take a little bit of ammo. It's not going to be anything like the railgun where you're going to be able to take it out instantly. but a full magazine will do. If you're using the spear, this by far is another great option. You just aim at it 2 times, straight to the eyeball, it's done. Easy, easy, easy stuff, easy peasy. If we're going to use the quasar cannon, we're going to have to aim 2 times in order to take it out because 1 is not enough. Next up on the enemy changes, we're going to talk about the Leviathan. There's now a freaking laser that'll come down and swipe you. There's about like 6, I think, maybe 4. Anywho, this right here is an amazing change and I absolutely love it. But what we're going to do now is we're actually going to see how many solo silo hits it takes to bring down a Leviathan. It's easy, easy stuff. So we're going to use 1, and then we're going to grab a second one, and there you go. That's how many hits, if I could talk, it takes to bring down a Leviathan. Moving along, the third enemy change is with the Fleshmobs. You can now use the Stalwart and fire about 1/4 of a magazine, and that's enough to take it down. Previously, it was a half mag. If you're going to use the Autocannon, it now only takes 2 hits, and it'll flop over. Previously, I believe it was 4, maybe it was 3. And then if we're going to use the Wasp on this enemy, it only takes 3 rocket hits. Before, it was 4, and that's how many hits it took. Lastly, for enemy changes, we're now going to check out the Dragon Roach. In the latest patch, they confirmed that you can now destroy or defeat a Dragon Roach just by simply using explosives or any weapon you really have. It's 4,000 damage for the wings. I decided to use 2 commandos, and that was enough to take it out. On a different note, we're now going to check out some of the throwables because I think this is important. If you can throw one directly behind a charger and destroy the back portion, the abdomen, it'll go down easily. It only requires 1 pineapple grenade, and you'll see right here, it flopped right over. Also, not to mention, you can do the same thing with the Hulks and whatnot. It just takes 1, but it might take more if you're not able to get behind the Hulk and throw it directly at the battery pack. The second throwable is the Seeker Grenade, and this right here is not phenomenal by any means, but I just want to show you the testing behind it. This is a great grenade if you're going to use it on flying enemies like flying overseers, perhaps gunships, stuff like that. It's great on. Now, this took quite a lot, right? I had to throw quite a few grenades to take one down, and the same situation applies with the chargers. It's not good by any means for these enemies on the ground. However, if you're targeting flying enemies, perfect scenario. But again, for testing purposes, just want to show you what you can do, what you shouldn't do, basically. But yeah, interesting stuff there. And the same situation applies with the Fleshmobs. You're going to use about a total of 4 to 5 grenades, and you're going to see right here, and I'll eventually speed it up, that it's not good. Again, it's amazing if you're going to use it on flying enemies, but ground enemies, it's not that amazing, and you're better off using a different grenade for this purpose. With everything out of the way, with the weapons, the enemy changes and whatnot, let's talk about performance. I personally can't say it's improved by any means. Maybe it has slightly, but you'll see right here, and I'm pretty sure at the top right you can see, well, I guess you can't. In this clip, I actually had only 40 FPS, and you can sort of tell right here because I'm just kind of like slowing down a bit. It kind of seems choppy and stuttery at some points. It's weird, guys. And I saw online that there were a lot of players talking about this as well, that nothing has really changed. Now, this doesn't mean that you're going to experience the same exact situation. However, it's fair to note that a lot of players are talking about how the performance is kind of better, but not good by any means, and it still has a few issues. And on the note, let's go ahead and check out what Arrowhead's CEO had to say about it. So right here, Sham Georgiani responded to a Helldiver that asks about the performance and optimization stuff in the future. Is there going to be more things like this that we'll see down the line? Sham Georgiani wrote, performance will take many more months of work to get to even more meaningful improvement. There you go. And that sort of is the answer to everything. If you've noticed the same thing, that performance is kind of the same, maybe it's slightly improved, right there, you can just tell it's going to take more and more time. We've already covered this in the past, that one patch is not going to be suffice. There's going to be more out there, more patches that'll hopefully improve the performance even further. The second response from Sham Georgiani is to this player that asked about the war bond. Are we not receiving another war bond this month? Sham said, we chose to focus on getting the same quality up first. there you go. There's no war bond this month. Perhaps next month we'll actually, I don't know, maybe we'll see a war bond trailer, maybe we won't, but I'll keep you up to date on what's going on in the near future. The third response from Shams Georgiani has to do with the game size. As you all know, it's currently like 140, 150. Well, after the recent patch, Shams Georgiani wrote, 9 gigs smaller, but a big change won't happen until we figure out how to handle mechanical hard drives. Well, that's good and bad, right? We know that, hey, it's shrink down a little bit. However, there's no big changes coming unless they actually figure out something here. I think it would be great for a branch. And in fact, that's something they're actually exploring, as you'll see in this response right here when Shams talked about it. Lastly, from Shams Georgiani, he confirmed that they've done some big changes behind the scenes, and here's what he said. Hello everyone, hope you enjoy the patch. As always, we hope this is a step in the right direction. Let us know what works and doesn't, and we've got another patch lined up in the future. Besides this patch, we've made a bunch of changes behind the scenes in our development routines, to be talked about more in a future blog post. Finally, I just want to bring up a great question I've seen. What is, durable damage? This is what Mitchimus said to me in a recent DM message. So the regular damage is sort of the max possible damage. The durable damage is the min possible damage. The enemy health zones can have different resistance to the durable damage. So depending on the resistance, the weapon will do damage between the durable damage and the regular damage. If an enemy has 100% durable damage resistance, the projectile will do its durable damage value. If the enemy has 50% durable damage, the projectile will do 50% in between the durable damage and the regular damage. And if the enemy has 0% durable damage resistance, the projectile will do its regular damage values. And I apologize if my voice is raspy, but I'm losing it a little bit here. But yeah, hopefully that explains everything. With everything being said, I hope you have enjoyed the video. If you have, consider tapping the like button or the thumbs up button and the hype button. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and all that great stuff. If you have enjoyed the video, let me know what you think about everything in this video. So yeah, there you go. Thank you again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.